The victories keep piling up for Ozzy's bunch after sweeping a 4-game set against the Mariners. Power and pitching have been the perfect recipe for Southside success. And tonight, the good guys go for 12 in a row at home. Game 1 between the Sox and the A's is next. From the city beautiful, Chicago, Illinois, Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Alex Rios, Alexa Ramirez, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Kurt Suzuki and the Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the first of this 3-game weekend series. As you know, the Sox coming off a 4-game sweep of the Mariners. So the Sox now 13 games over 500. They are a game and a half in front of Minnesota. They have won 11 in a row here at home. They have won 18 out of the last 19 here. And we were supposed to have Daniel Hudson pitching tonight, but that's not the case.
Daniel Hudson was traded away. Edwin Jackson is now a member of the Sox. We'll see if there's another deal ensuing. But first things first, Lucas Harrell goes to the mound, and he was 9-9 in AAA. Got off to a tough start after a tough spring. And lately he's picking it up. And he's a guy that has to be perfect with his control. He's a sinker-slider pitcher. And if he's good with his control, this defense behind him is going to really be able to help him out. On the other side of the field is Brett Anderson. Anderson, a left-hander with great stuff. He made 6 rehab starts after hurting his elbow, and so we'll see tonight, because when you throw in a major league game, it's a lot different than any rehab start you can have. This Oakland team has been very tough on the Sox. We lost 2 of 3 in Oakland. Now it's time to get them at home.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
I'm Sarah Cusack. Thanks for joining us here at U.S. Cellular Field. Now, a big night as the Southsiders go for their 12th straight win here at home. And a special guest, as we just saw, stopped by the ballpark. Kid Rock out to help celebrate Mullet Night. And I got a chance to chat with the Detroit native about his love for Chicago.
My southern neighbors, you know what I mean? Always have a good time. Love the Midwest, especially the people here. Great city. Favorite time to be here is in the fall. But always enjoyed Chicago. It's one of the early places we actually broke when we were first coming up and started to get recognized was the old House of Blues here. Used to sell it out in Chicago before, outside Detroit, this was it.
Now, you light up stadiums, arenas with your music, but how much of a sports fan are you, and how much do you love to get out and see games like this?
I'm a big sports fan. Love it all. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, NASCAR. I want to take a nap. I'll watch a little golf. Big sports fan. I mean, Detroit's like Chicago. You know, it's a big sports town. It's another reason why I love Chicago. You know, great fans, whether it's rock and roll or sports. You know, hardworking people love to come out and support and have a good time.
You have the Southside T-shirts, a few names on the back. Tell us a little bit about where this all started and what made you decide to make these.
Chelly is one of my best friends, so I'm always ribbing him about Chicago or Detroit, this, that, and the other. And he's always telling me Southside rock, Southside. So when they asked me to do this pitch thing, I said, I'm getting a white T-shirt made. It's the Southside, but I'm going to represent the people that made it great in my eyes, which is Dick Butkus, Chris Chelios, and bad Leroy Brown.
Kid Rock and Bon Jovi rocking it out at Soldier Field tonight as Lucas Harrell makes his major league debut on the mound for the White Sox. Hawk and Stoney with the call as the first pitch is just moments away right here on Comcast Sports.
The A's come into this one in second place. They haven't given up the ghost yet. They're 8.5 games back in Texas, and this is how they'll line up tonight. Coco Crisp leading off with Barton, Suzuki, Jack Custer, the DH, with Kuzminoff, Ellis, Gross, Davis, and Pennington playing shortstop and hitting 9. The defense behind Lucas Harrell, left to right, Pierre, Rios, and Jones in the infield, Viciedo, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. And Lucas Harrell in his major league debut. Harrell, 22 starts, 9-9 at AAA. Got off to a tough start, but then started throwing it pretty well. Weather conditions tonight, 76 degrees, very humid at 62%. The wind, not that much of a factor, and it is cloudy. The umpires, Jim Wolf, Marvin Hudson at first, Darrell Cousins at second, DJ Rayburn at third. We're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn over to my play-by-play partner, Hawk Harrelson.
Hi, it's Stone Pony. Thank you, and once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet, first of this 3-game weekend series. Oakland comes in at 51-50, hitting .262 as a club with a very fine 3.75 team ERA. So here's Coco Crisp to lead it off, and the first pitch in his major league career, thrown by Lucas Harrell, is high and wide. Lucas, 25 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds, out of Springfield, Missouri. There's the strike. He'll get it and throw it. He started off, as Steve told you, very, very shaky down at Charlotte. And in his last 11 decisions, he is 8-3. He if you're 99 and a 4.24, as we talked about Daniel Hudson being, in that ballpark, that is a bandbox. And that is just foul. Thank you very much.
Well, right now, what he has to battle is the adrenaline surge that he's getting in his first major league start. If you throw a sinker, normally the ball won't sink as much in the first inning. The fact that he's thrown the ball around the plate is a good sign early.
And that is a nice pick right there, the long pig. And Paulie cannot stay down on it.
It's going to go as a base hit, I believe. I think that might have nicked the bag and came up on a tough hop. And it is a base hit. We'll watch it again. Crisp takes it right down the line. Looks like it might have hit the middle of the bag. That part of it's good. This part, Paulie normally comes up with it, but he's more adept on his backhand than he is on his forehand.
Well, he anticipated a little hop on that one and didn't get it. So he's got good speed, Coco does. 13 for 15 in stolen bases. Lucas not bad over the first.
Well, he's going to need it tonight because Crisp is part of their running game. It's a running game that swiped 82 bags so far, 87 bases.
Well, we talked about that in Oakland. The old theory about no stolen bases, no sacrifice bunts, that's bye-bye.
Yes, it, along with Moneyball, went the way of the dodo bird.
Yep. There's the strike. Derek Barton hitting at 275. I think what they finally realized is that when you get guys who don't steal bases and no sacrifice bunts and stuff like that, that finally, eventually, overlaps into range on defense.
Well, but also in a pitcher's park, you got to have some guys who can go get him in the outfield. A lot of those guys are speed guys. And we see one tonight in Rajay Davis, who we didn't see in Oakland, but he's in the lineup, and he's a big part of their running game.
Yeah, I think Rajay is probably their second best player. That's inside.
Well, Harrell's going to have to keep it down to throw a double play ground ball. He's been told that he can do that pretty well, although Barton has only grounded into 2 double plays in 357 bats. It's somewhat remarkable.
And that's trouble. No, foul. Thank you. Just foul.
Barton, who originally came up in the St. Louis Cardinal organization, bidding for a double down the line. Unfortunately, it slices on the left side of the line.
Well, up to this point, he's thrown 8 pitches, and he's going to have to show him he can throw something off speed and get it over.
You were reading my mind, not only off speed, but inside, because he's thrown everything away. And eventually, these hitters will consistently go that way.
There's one down and in. And the count 2-2. Breaking ball. Outfield about equidistant. Slightly to the left. Mullet night here at the old ballpark.
Don Cooper, in the last shot, was looking out at his youngster, Lucas Harrell. I know he worked with him a little in the spring. It wasn't a great spring for Harrell. And hopefully, A.J. will start using the off-speed pitch. I think one might be coming here.
The 2-2. Paulie. That boy, Paulie. He didn't go for that. Give it to somebody. There you go. Put it on him. Rack him up. Good play. That's the way you're supposed to do it right there. Just one throw.
3-6 double play. Paul Konerko making that end of it, but then you can't get rid of the ball too quickly. Paul didn't do it, had him running as well as he could run. Alexei knows he's going to be able to run him down with a running start. And they get it done with only one throw. That's the ideal run-down play.
So here's Suzuki, and that did not hurt the mindset of Lucas Harrell.
And the first inning normally is the toughest, but he got the ball over and got the ground ball.
Here's a good player right here, Kurt Suzuki.
They signed him to a 4-year extension, so he's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, and he's going to be a nemesis, a pain in the behind to us for the next 4 years.
Well, I've always thought that this is a guy that you can build an organization around. Not that he's going to be a devastating hitter, but he's going to be a good one. He's a terrific catcher, handles pitchers well. He's very athletic behind the plate. It's tough to get the ball by him too often.
He's the best clutch hitter on this ball club. He's the one man that you don't want to see in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning with a man on third in a close ball game.
And because he will use the whole field.
The 2-1. Jack Cust, the DH on deck.
Here's where most hitters will think about hitting the long ball when they're 3-1. And Suzuki has got 12 of them.
That ball hit hard back to the middle. Didn't try to get greedy right there. Took what they gave him.
Here's the difference in the major leagues and the minor leagues. Now, that's a 3-1 fastball in actually a good spot. The more you fall behind 2-1, 3-0 in the major leagues and then try to throw a fastball, it has to be even better than that.
Well, the two most precious things, Stone Pony, the hitter has are the count and the batter's box. You can control your own, you can dictate your own strike zone. There's a good strike to Cust.
Put it in a perfect spot, which is how you throw most guys that just air it out with every swing, and that is put it right in on their hands.
Breaking ball. So far he has not gotten one of those over, and if you're an Oakland A hitter, you got to know that as well. And this is with another one in the count, 2-1. Cust, a true slugger. He can hit them as far as anybody, anywhere. There's a changeup. And the count 3-1 with Kuzminoff on deck.
Good stop by A.J. preventing Suzuki from going to second base. Suzuki has a little better than average speed for a catcher.
And the 3-1. That's off the glass of one of the Super Sweets. So a full count with 2 down. Paulie's going to play behind Suzuki. Outfield slightly to the left. And the payoff. Got to get something off speed over. He doesn't. And it's tough. It's easier said than done because that little heart of his and that little stomach of his, they're full of butterflies and beating a mile a minute.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And most starters always feel a little keyed up in the first inning, but for a rookie and a guy who's making his major league debut, has to be beating a little bit extra, and you've got to keep fighting that.
So here's Kuzminoff at 272, 9 homers, but he's driven in 50. And this should get him out of it. And he does. Gets the breaking ball over. So a little shaky, but a nice first half inning for Lucas Harrell. Nothing across.
Gross in the infield, Kuzminov, Pennington, Ellis, and Barton. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, and Toyota starting pitcher is Brett Anderson. Making just his 7th start, had elbow problems, had 6 rehab starts, and he's got very good stuff, although you see left-handers much more successful than the right-handers.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Juan Pierre hitting at .257, no homers. He's driven in 23. Fires the bunt. And the count 1-1.
A pretty good idea because Anderson, although he probably has the best stuff on the staff as a starter, he doesn't field his position particularly well, and he doesn't have a good move to first. Juan was trying to take advantage of that with a drag bunt.
Very young, 22 years old, out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. 6'4", 235 pounds. And the count 2-1 to Pierre. Kuzminov in on the grass at third. And this chop gets a nice little bowling good bounce and bobbles it in. There's Pennington.
I don't think that would be E6. If it is, it's error number 17. Right back over the head of Anderson. But if Pennington plays the easy hop, he's going to throw him out at first base. He doesn't.
And they give him a hit.
Christmas comes early.
So here's Alexei. At .291, 11 homers. We'll take it. And that's popped up right side. And that's out number 1. So with 1 out, let's check out our picks to click tonight. You can play at home. All you got to do is tune into the Felco pregame live before the game, see Ozzy's lineup, and make your selection of tonight. Sox fans watching. Pick Juan Pierre, who's on first base. Jim Andrew, our director and the crew, going with Alex Rios. Tone Pony's going with Alexei Ramirez. And I'm going to ride these guys hard. Mike Spadali, Pete Catazone, Mike Mazza, the Bertucci boys, Bobby Bruno, and Anthony. We're going to go with AJ. As here's Alex hitting at .306, 16 homers. He's driven in 59.
Well, normally when Anderson is right, he's got a terrific back foot slider. That's the one that he starts over the plate and dips low and in to the right-hand hitter. That'll get you a lot of ground balls to the left side.
That pitch just in off the plate. Pretty good lead by 1. Won 38 stolen bases and 48 attempts. Sox come in hitting at .261 as a club with a 3.94 ERA. Sox 31-19 here at home. There you go. No chance.
Well, when a pitcher doesn't have a good move to first base, and that's in all the scouting reports, your base stealers are going to have a field day. And with the high leg kick, instead of the slide step, Suzuki has no shot. Even if he makes a good throw, Juan is off to the races.
At a stolen base, number 498 in his career. So it's going to be up to Mark Ellis to hang around, or he might steal number 499 in a hurry. Plays off that one, and the count evens at 2. It's full. Nerco on deck.
And that's a little rust on the part of Anderson because those were 2 sliders that he didn't come close on down and in, and normally that's probably his bread and butter pitch for the right-hand hitters.
Payoff. And there's a shot base hit. Here comes Juan. He's going to score, and Sox lead it 1-0. That didn't take long.
RBI number 60 for Alex Rios. Took advantage of the fact that Anderson hasn't been able to get the slider over the plate. He saw a fastball, took it right back up the middle. This ball is low and in. Alex just crushes it. And Anderson, in his first start in quite some time, trailing early.
And here's Paulie, who has homered in 4 straight games, tying his career mark. It's the 3rd time he has done that. He comes in hitting at .298, 25 long ones, and 71 driven in.
Anderson has yet to give up a home run in now 31 innings. That's really going to be put to the test tonight because he doesn't have his control.
Well, he better be pinpoint with that fastball, which you can get by if you can't get the breaking ball over if you can throw it through a teacup, but usually they don't go hand in hand.
Right now he's missing with everything. That's to be expected. The fact that he had a lot of elbow problems, just activated today. They disabled Andrew Bailey, their fine closer. We won't see him in the series. We didn't see him in Oakland, and that was okay.
Just does catch the outside edge of the outside corner, and the count 2-1.
Last big league start for Anderson was way back on June 3rd.
Alex, 23 stolen bases. And that's out of play right side. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Konerko. Carlos Quentin on deck as Paulie goes through his routine. All good hitters have a definitive routine. And that's in the hole, base hit. Don't stop now, boys.
This matchup should play right into Carlos's hands, in that Anderson usually keeps the ball down, and Carlos loves the ball down.
Well, he keeps that fastball down. Carlos is better off, better served to try to hit it into right center. That's not a problem for him going deep. There's the breaking ball he gets over. A little spinner. Just a high rolling. And the count 0-2.
That fastball had pretty good movement low and away from Carlos. Outfield very deep all the way around. Excellent speed in left and in center. That got him.
That got him. That'll load him up. So Sox packed with Sox, and here comes AJ.
The last thing in the world a pitcher wants is to get ahead and then throw him that slow breaking ball. He was ahead 0-2, put him on first base to load him up. You can hear it tick off the lead elbow. Now a chance for AJ to do some damage.
AJ hitting at .237, 6 homers. He's driven in 31. Outfield spread out about equidistant, slightly to the left, as that pitch hangs inside. That's a big pitch in this sequence for AJ, where he's been mentally.
The base is loaded. He's been awfully good.
And they turn it, so he cannot get it done down the line. But the Sox get on the board, and after one, it is 1-0 Good Guys. Today.
Now, there's a lot of guys who could pull off that look that the first guy had, but he's not one of them.
One nothing Sox. Young Lucas Harrell in his major league debut. Mark Ellis, Gabe Gross, Rajay Davis for the A's here in their half of the second.
Ellis can wear out right center field.
He's been a good player against us. We talk about Jack Wilson for the Mariners, has been a good player against us. Mark Ellis has been a good player against us. As the count evens at 1. That's going to be out of play. A lot of little guys like Marco Scuderos and Nick Puntos, they all play well against us.
Well, contact hitters, all of them. And you put the ball in play. Sometimes you get a base hit. Sometimes the defense can't make the play.
The third base coach, when he was playing, played well against us.
Mike Gallego?
Really good.
He had a distinct advantage on ground balls. He could get a little bit lower than most guys.
He always kept his behind out.
Yes, it's close enough to the ground anyway.
Don't get tricky. Just full count. Especially the first time you see a guy, you want to get him in as few pitches as possible. Not even close. So the dreaded leadoff walk. Second walk issued by Lucas. And that'll bring up Gross, right fielder, hitting at 242 a homer. He's driven in 19. And that's not good.
He steered that one into the ground. And between innings, after that first inning, which was a little rocky, A.J. had a word with Lucas Harrell, and that's the outside breaking ball. And A.J.'s telling him, look, don't get outside. It's called casting it when you do that. Stay over the top, pull down on it, it'll break over the plate.
Chops that one foul. 1-1 to count. There are just so many things that you would like to tell and to impart to a young pitcher making his major league debut. But guys who've been around this game long enough, they know not to get in there because they can be inundated with so many thoughts. You just leave them alone and let them go out there. That's into left field. So Gross cannot get the job done. He stayed inside that one, so it did not look like he was even trying.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a real bad at bat for Gabe Gross because you got to do anything you can do, especially this Oakland team that doesn't have a whole lot of power. You got to get that man from second to third base somehow. If you don't think you can pull the guy, then bunt the ball. Fortunately for us, he didn't do either.
So here's Rajai Davis, 29-year-old outfielder, hitting at .275, 4 homers. He's driven in 31, but he has 32 stolen bases. I mentioned this is, to me, is their second best player. Last year hit .305 for him, sold 41 bases.
He's not going to walk a lot. Just 15 times in 302 at bats.
And AJ now going to go out. Well, you get what you call guys that are not pretty players. Rajai is not a pretty player. Get a guy like a Melvin Mora who used to play with Baltimore. Not a pretty player. All they do is beat you.
This guy's a good one. AJ's had his word with Lucas Harrell.
This will be the 34th pitch. 2 down. That'll bring up the switch hitting shortstop, Cliff Pennington. Hitting at .258, 3 homers. He's driven in 30.
Pennington has some gap power. In this ballpark, unlike Oakland, he probably has enough to get it out of the ballpark. He's hit only 3 this year.
Takes it low and in.
And he plays in a tough ballpark to hit home runs if you're not Jack Cust, who has astonishing power.
And there's a strike. They even counted 1. Outfield slightly to the left, and that's a little high. Oh yeah, 2-2.
Owen had some good movement. He threw it inside and moved back over and caught the whole plate.
Had to put a little giddy up on that one and came out quick, left it up high. Coco Crisp on deck. And the payoff pitch. This is where AJ is going to have to try to nurse him through this, which he's done many, many times in his career. Take a youngster out there making his major league debut, and you just got to try to get a feel for him as he walks him. So the second walk of the inning, 3rd already, and an inning and 2/3, and that'll bring up Crisp. That an infield single, leading off the ball game.
You can see right off the top that he's having some problems staying closed, and consequently the curveball will stay outside to the left-hander and inside to the right-hander. The fastball will go high and away to the left-hand hitter if he doesn't stay closed. And that's opening up the front shoulder and rushing your delivery, which you would expect with the butterflies he probably still has.
And that's ball 1. So the second time around, And here comes Coop.
But I'm sure he's going to tell him the same thing, which is try to stay close a little bit longer. Don't open up with that front side, because if you do, you keep missing high and away. And that's not going to help you, even against a team that doesn't have a lot of thunder.
And I think you're going to try to tell him to slow down a little bit, because I mentioned he'll get it and throw it, but right now, maybe take a little more time inside that windup.
And stay on top of the pitches. That way he can let his natural sinker work for him. But you have a tendency in his situation to try to overthrow everything. And when you do that, everything stays up.
Well, he's in danger right here. Coco Crisp, pretty good hitter. He's seen him already one time. He's got the catbird seat with 2 out and runners at the corners. And the count 3-0. There goes the runner, and it's Academic. So the third walk of the inning. And he's thrown 45 pitches, and that'll bring up Derek Barton, who hit into a 3-6 double play last inning.
Barton's got a pretty good eye. And if you don't throw him strikes, he's not swinging. He leads this team in walks with 60 of them. And he leads by a wide margin.
Dangerous waters right here. High and deep. And Alex is there. Woo! He just missed that one. That looked like when it left the bat, it had grand slam written all over it. Meanwhile, we'll go to the bottom of the second, leading 1-0. Things on thin ice, but he's still skating.
And giving up no runs, Sox have a 1-run lead, and Harrell has gotten the 2 innings under his belt without giving up anything.
They have stranded 5. He's walked 4. And that's down low to Tank. Viciedo hitting at 286, a couple of homers. He's driven in 6. And the count 2-0 to him. It's 3-0. Don't help him out. Andrew Jones on deck. There's one. Now, zone him in, reel him in, and light him up right here, Tank.
You got to look for the fastball away. You get anything else, you take it.
There's a base hit right back through the middle. So the Tankmeister leads it off with a hit, and that'll bring up Andrew.
He got the fastball, took it right back up the middle, and Anderson was lucky to get out of that first inning with only 1 run. And right now he can't locate much of anything, and that's unusual for him.
No, not to the same degree, but he's still got some butterflies and juice flowing in him tonight.
Last Major League start in June, early June.
And when you're coming off a shoulder or an elbow in his case, a little tentativeness there mentally. Well, you said it in the opening, perfect. I don't care what you do on the side.
or simulated games or rehab starts.
There's a little bit of difference when you get out there in a real one. There's a strike and the count 1-2. Andrew sitting on 402 home runs. Count evens at 2 with Beckham, the on-deck hitter. Ooh, got a cookie and just underneath it.
It's a hanging slider, and it hangs right over the middle of the plate. And Anderson very fortunate to get away with that one.
Uh-oh. Another rock him up. Second double play turn by Oakland. So here's Beckham hitting at 245, 5 homers. He's driven in 31. Gets it. Breaking ball over for strike 1.
Three haircuts.
Another one for strike 2.
And if you'd like a mullet, there you go.
That's low.
Anderson originally drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks in the second round of 2006 and traded to Oakland for Dan Herendeen.
Another breaking ball. Kuzminoff makes the play, and that'll retire the side. We have 2 in the books. We lead at 1-0.
basketball operations for the Bulls Sox Academy. And Larry, every time you come up, you want to talk about a program that you guys are implementing, and tell our viewers a little bit about what's coming up.
Well, August is exciting, Steve, because we have a nice players camp coming up at the Academy. We're presenting it through Midwest Orthopedics at Rush, which is our sponsor, and it's the Chicago Bulls Players Camp. So we're going to have a different player every day there to spend time with the kids during camp.
This is going to be one of the rare times when you actually get to play alongside a professional basketball player and have him then teach you about what you're doing.
Absolutely, and we're going to have former and current, which is great. So I like to have the former guys in there as well because they have the expertise that the kids need to really understand the history of basketball as well. So it'll be a good combination of our current guys and former guys. Camps from 9 to 4 every day.
Well, tell our viewers how they get in touch with you and how they can get to one of those camps.
Well, they can actually call 630-PLAY-BALL. We have people there right now that can take their phone calls or go to our website at bullsoxacademy.com, and they can download a registration form and get excited and get ready for next week.
Well, thank you for coming up, Larry. We really appreciate it, and good luck with the camps.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Jack Cust is the hitter with one out. You're awesome, Larry. Okay, buddy. Good to see you. Cust drew a walk, one of 4 issued by Lucas. Two and 0 the count. Big hat, no cattle.
Nothing left to the imagination there about what he wanted to do with that one.
No. Last year he hit 25 homers, drove in 70. And count 3-1. I don't think Jack has an emergency swing.
I think he has one swing.
That's it.
And if he happens to hit it, he hits it forever.
Checks. A foul. Right side. So a full count.
He's got big
There have been a
power.
lot of guys
side.
like that have one swing.
One swing.
The Los Angeles Dodgers had a first baseman, former teammate of mine, as a matter of fact.
Ron Fairley?
No, Ronnie had great plate coverage. He could get you high, he could get you low. He was a heck of a. He's one of the most under the radar players ever played a game. Dick Nin was his name. He gone. He knew it. First major league strikeout for Lucas Harrell. 2 down.
I'm not sure what Cust is looking for because he's a dead fastball hitter in a fastball situation and gets a fastball and looks at it and walks back home.
From a guy who's not getting anything but a fastball over.
Oh, here's a surprise. Here's a fastball for you.
Kuzmanov get into a 6-4 fielder's choice. Hit the ball hard, though. Takes that one low and away. Now, Dick Nin was a lot like Russell Branyan when he first came in. When Branyan first came in, as there's a chopper 2 hopper, little bowling book bounce right there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Lucas Harrell. After 2.5, it is still 1-0 good guy.
Most impressive aspect of the White Sox recent stretch. A, Paul Konerko's home run streak. B, J.J. Putt's scoreless inning streak. Or C, 11 straight home wins. Text A, B, or C to 53695. Stick around for U.S. Cellular White Sox post-game live for final results, or visit csnchicago.com.
All three. A, B, and C.
Pretty remarkable.
So here's Juan Pierre, had an infield single, stole a base, and quickly scored on the single by Alex Rios.
One of the things we haven't taken advantage of is the fact that Anderson doesn't field well, although Juan thought about a bunt first time up. And this time up.
Pitch inside, 1-1 to count. Oh, right back to it. And that's out number one. And a reminder, you can organize a group outing of 20 or more guests. All you do is purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas, because the more tickets you order, the more money you save. So call 312-674-1000 or visit WhiteSox.com.
Lexi has been red hot. Swung at the first pitch the first time up. Let's see if he's a little more patient here.
In case you did not hear, by the stretch of the imagination, Sox acquired Edwin Jackson. There's a shot. Just fouled. Dadgummit. Sox acquired Edwin Jackson from the D-backs in exchange for pitcher's Daniel Hudson, who was slated to start tonight, and David Holmberg.
There's the newest member of the White Sox starting rotation.
Last year for the Tigers was 13-9 with a 3.62 ERA. You know, I think it's well documented how much that I like Daniel Hudson, as both of us did. Yep. There's a one-hopper, and Kuzmanov's got him. But one of the reasons I like this trade a little bit is because of the fact that Don Cooper. Jackson, in the times we've seen him, for the most part, has been a one-pitch pitcher.
And he threw a no-hitter with him.
Yeah. Well, you can. You have those nights where you can spot it a little bit, and you can be a one-pitch pitcher and pitch a no-hitter. But I've seen Cooper's made a believer out of me. I've seen him do too many things with too many guys. And if you can make Edwin Jackson a two-pitch pitcher, you get yourself an arm there that's capable of winning anywhere from 15 to 20 games. And I wish nothing but Daniel Hudson the best. He's a nice young man, and he's got a good future in front of him, but you got to give up something to get a guy with an arm like Jackson. Throws a little harder than Hudson. That's out of play right side. Alex, as I mentioned, 1-for-1 with that RBI.
One guy's established in the major leagues for a team that has to win now, and the other guy is a big part of the future. And we'll have to see if indeed Edwin Jackson stays here or is moved along for another piece of the puzzle.
Well, if he stays, that's the reason I like to do it, because of Coop. 2-2.
Well, the Diamondbacks have unloaded Dan Herron. They've unloaded Edwin Jackson, and Brendan Webb just had a setback, so their entire rotation has been decimated. 2 traded away, 1 still injured. Webb had surgery last August. Tried to throw a sideline a couple of days ago, and he shut it down, so they're not thinking they're going to get much for the remainder of this year out of Webb.
And there's a nice play by Derek Barton. A 1-2-3 inning for Anderson, and we're into the 4th.
the fourth meal from Taco Bell. Open 1 a.m. or later.
1-0 Sox, 1-4-0 for our guys, 0-2-0 for their guys. Here in the top of the fourth inning, it'll be Ellis, Gross, and Davis to face Lucas Harrell in his major league debut. And there's a base hit. Right back through the middle.
Well, these days, if Alexi can't get it, it can't be gotten to because he's getting just about everything. He's had tremendous range to his right. He's made 3 spectacular plays on the outfield grass heading toward the third base line. That one to his left and went back up the middle for a hit.
So here's Gross. He had a job to do back in the second inning after Ellis walked and went to the second on a wild pitch, leading off. Gross, his job was to get him over third. He couldn't do it. Went out softly to left field. Takes down low. Just a decent lead by Ellis. Seattle was even with the bag. Now they're telling him to back up. Well off the line at third. There goes the runner. And he's got time. So that's out. Number 1.
This is a hit and run because Ellis doesn't have great speed. 50% base runner. So Bob Guerin puts him in motion and moves him into second base.
Rajai Davis not afraid to get a big base hit. He's got 31 RBIs. He grounded out to Beckham. Count evens at 1.
Sometimes you have to have some patience with guys, and sometimes you don't, and they turn into good players. He was originally selected by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2001. Later traded to San Francisco in exchange for Matt Morris, a couple of other players involved, and then claimed off waivers by Oakland. 2008 in April.
Funny chop on that one, and the count 1-2.
It's turned into a pretty good waiver claim as far as the Oakland team is concerned. He's given him great speed and a pretty dependable bat overall.
One out and a 1-2 pitch. Ate him up right there. 2 down. Ellis in the third.
AJ setting up in the middle of the plate. That ball wasn't inside all that much. Davis couldn't get his hands out and hit it softly to the right side.
So here's Pennington. He drew a walk his first trip. Nice. Down and in. And count 2-0. Coco Crisp, the on-deck hitter. Check that, 1-1. That's trouble. And this game is tied at 1.
RBI number 31 for Pennington, who picks up the 4th Oakland hit. Probably should have been, but wasn't fielded. Came back awfully fast on Harrell, and then the deflection didn't go at anybody. So the run scores and sends A.J. out to the mound because Lucas missed his spot by a good margin. A.J. wanted it inside. Lucas threw that sinker down and out over the plate.
So Pennington probably is going to be off somewhere in this sequence. He's 15 for 17 in stolen bases. Tank at the cut of the grass at third. Outfield about equal distance, spread out. Swung around to the left. And the 67th pitch thrown by Lucas was down low. 1-0 the count for the 30-year-old switch hitting outfield. And a count 2-0.
Big fans, big hot dogs.
Keep going 2-0-3-1. You're going to get burned. There's a strike. Made a good pitch on him right there.
Crisp has been a much better hitter from the right side, but he's had about twice as many opportunities as a left-hand hitter.
Two out, 2 balls, 1 strike. A 1-1 tie here in the top of the 4th inning. Not a bad count to go on right here. He is 9. And A.J. quickly out behind that box and nails it. Good play by Pierzynski. But they get on the board and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 1.
Player to hit a home run in 5 straight games. Very pertinent tonight, as Paul Konerko is trying to do just that.
Paulie singled back in the 1st inning. Singled in the hole between 3rd and short. So 22-year-old southpaw Brett Anderson, 6'4", 235 pounds, out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. That pitch is outside. And he's got the catbird seat. Straight change, miss low and away. Big Hurt Pizza out there. And the count 3-0. There's one.
Well, he won't be taking another fastball if he gets a 3-1.
Quentin on deck. That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Stretch! Get up! It's off the fence. So Paulie will lead it off with his 21st two-bagger.
He got another fastball, and he almost drilled it out of the park. Hitting for home run number 26. This ball down, out over the plate. Paul takes it the other way. Crisp can't get to it. It does bound away off the wall. And Paul in comfortably at second base.
So here's Carlos. Well, when he finishes like that, he is devastating. He is devastating when he finishes. We'll show you that finish of his in just a second. As Carlos trying to get him over, that's the souvenir right side. Let's take another look. Watch the finish right here. Watch where his hands finish. Finish in front of him. That is short and quick and very, very compact. Breaking ball. And the count 1-1. Now field spread out straight up. And again, Carlos trying to get him over. And a reminder, you can enjoy a day at beautiful US Cellular Field with family and friends. Individual tickets for the White Sox are on sale right now. So for tickets, visit whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME.
The mullets are getting a little warm for some of the fans.
The 1-2 pitch. That's foul straight back below Stone Point. One 5-0 for our guys, 1-4-0 for their guys. First of a 3-game set. Off day on Monday, then it's off to Detroit and Baltimore. 4 in Detroit, and he did not go. And 4 in Baltimore.
We will see a new manager in Baltimore as Buck Showalter will take over that organization and try in what probably will be a long rebuilding process. That team is 32-70.
That's inside, full count. Well, what's happened to that organization has almost been criminal.
As opposed to where it was and where it is now. They've got some young players to build around.
They've been saying that now for a few years. So he cannot get him over. And that is out number 1.
First strikeout, and this is a back foot slider. See where it winds up? That's what made Steve Carlton, and Ron Guidry, and a number of other talented left-handers who could throw that back foot slider. And with enough break, hitters just don't have much of a chance.
So here's A.J. into a 4-6-3 double play to end the first inning. Well, that was with the bases loaded. And there's a base hit. Here comes Paulie. He's going to score. And the Sox lead it 2-1. Mike Spinelli, Pete Catazone, Mike Mazza, the Bertucci boys, Bobby Bruno, and Anthony They're picked to clear.
They're going to run on Coco Crisp every chance they get. And this ball into right center field. Jeff Cox knows that Coco doesn't have much of an arm. And he scores with no play at all. So for A.J., RBI number 32.
And here's Tank. Tank Meister single. Back through the middle. Leading off the second. Short lead by A.J. Checks it up and takes ball one. That ball hit hard. Stretch. Get over his head. It will. Thank you very much. A.J. read it perfectly, but he's going to be held now at third base. And advisedly so. Now the ball is thrown back to second. Viciedo back in. Boy, did he pickle that one or what?
Now the ball has a different sound off his bat. And a whole lot of carry to it as he got what appeared to be a changeup low and away, drilled it over the head of Crisp. Actually, Coco did a really nice job of getting to it, getting it back in. And then Carlos, thinking A.J. was going to score, straight off a little too long, but got in under the tag, the call by Darrell Cousins.
A.J. read it perfectly. So here is Andrew. He hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Back in the second, got a good pitch to hit right there and a big swing. Ducks on the pond, one down. Trouble hanging on that bat. Almost drilled the mayor the other night.
A little more pine tar.
A lot more. That's foul back. I actually saw Tony Oliva, the great Minnesota Twin hitter, hit with a strap around his wrist tied to the handle of the bat.
That's how many bats he would throw into the seats?
He just got to a point that was a mental thing. It just left his hands. The 0-2. They're going to come to the plate? No. A.J. read it good, got the good lead, good jump, and it is 3-1. Good job right there by Andrew to get that man in. Don't stop now, boys.
It's good execution. With the infield back, contact play works wonders. And Barton left with only one play. Well, watch A.J. It's a contact play. He was going on anything.
The key there on that contact play is make sure you get a good lead and then a good secondary. There he goes. And here's Beckham. Pick him up right here, Gordon. Gordon grounded out to Kuzman off at third. Leadoff double by Konerko. A.J. with an RBI single. The double by Viciedo. The ground ball out by Andrew. Two so far. Jacks it up. And count 2-1. There's a shot base hit. He will pick him up. Tank scores, and it's a 4-1 ball game.
Well, regardless of the resolution of this game, for Brett Anderson, he caught the biggest break he could catch because that ball knocked him down on the mound as it flew over his face. Gordon takes it right back up the middle. Anderson goes toppling over. Fortunately for him, it wasn't maybe an inch or two lower, as he wouldn't have been able to defend himself, and that's RBI number 32 for Gordon.
He reminds me a little bit of former Sox southpaw Britt Burns out there.
Yeah, not much of a defender.
Every time a ball was hit hard back through the middle, our hearts just jumped right up in our throat when Britt was out there. Here's one. He singled, stole second, and scored in the first inning. Takes it low. 4-8-0 for us, 1-4-0 for them.
Gordon's got a pretty good idea that Anderson is not going to be able to pick him off.
And this will do it. But a nice crooked number goes up on that board. We go to the fifth, leading 4-1. $53695, and if you're the 500th texter, you could win $5 footlong subs from Subway. First pitch strike. Derek Barton leading off here in the top of the fifth inning. Sox lead at 4-1. Barton 0 for 2. Hit into a 3-6 double play, and then with the bases loaded in the second inning, he hit one. I thought, everybody thought was out of here. Alex went back to the center field fence in a hurry and hauled it in. That is high and just a long strike. Right size, wrong shape. 1-2. Get the feeling Barton's all over him.
Well, that was a pretty good swing. Seeing the ball very well, even though he's got 0 for 2 to show for it.
All right, looks like he's more into a little bit of a pitching mode now. Than might be settling down just a little bit.
I think he's burned some of the adrenaline away. Now we'll see if we can get this fastball inside.
Ate him up. That's all he did. Like a nice cutter right there.
He put it right in on the hands of Barton. You see where A.J. sets up. And that was good execution by the pitcher. A.J. wants it up and on the inner portion. Exactly where he got it. And Barton trying to bring his hands in, still caught it off the end of the bat.
So here's Suzuki.
You could talk about hitting with short arms. He was trying to make them as short as he could.
Guys who can hit with short arms have such an advantage, it's unbelievable. We had one here for a long time who was as good at that as anybody, and that's the reason he's going in to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. And his name's a Big Hurt Frank Thomas. He could hit you with short arms out 500 feet, and he could hit you with extension 500 feet. Two and one to count. A little high neck in right there. And the count 3-1. Ate him up inside. So a full count for the 26-year-old Kurt Suzuki. What a nice player he is. And he's going to get better and better.
He's going to be charged with handling one of the better young staffs around.
He's up to it. Pretty good pitch. Didn't get it. That looked like a strike. Take another look at it.
Now I think that ball high and away. AJ kind of tried to ease it back, caught it as well as he could to try to steal the strike out of it. And
so here is Cust. Takes it inside. Well, 5 walks issued by Lucas. And up to this point, none of them crossed home plate. That's caromed over. Look at this, the shovel. And couldn't do it. But nice play right there by Beckham. That'll be 1-4-6 on the force out.
Lucas was able to slow it down just enough. And for Alexei, there wasn't much of a chance as that ball got on him as Suzuki was going in hard. That was a clean slide.
Kuzmanov has grounded twice to Alexei. Oh, yeah. Drops a hook on it.
One of the better ones that Lucas has thrown tonight.
The best one.
And hitters are just not going to swing at that first ball curveball unless it just hangs up in their eyes.
Tries to back it up. And the count 1-1. Minnesota leading Seattle 3-0. That game in the bottom of the 5th. In Minneapolis. And Alexei is going to get him again. That'll do it. We are halfway home, leading 4-1, and right now it's Southpaw time. All right, Artuck, thank you very much, buddy. Alexa Ramirez, Alex Rios, Paul Konerko to face the 22-year-old southpaw Brett Anderson. Brett's first pitch downstairs.
Oh, a good time and a good part of the order to tack on a few insurance runs. All three of these guys swinging the bat very well.
Alexa 0 for 2. And count 2-0. Lays back on it, but he gets him, and that's out number 1. And a reminder, you can join our White Sox mobile group to receive exclusive offers and chances to win great prizes like autographed jerseys and baseballs. Text SOX to Shy Sox 244-769. Tenor to win an autographed Paul Konerko baseball. Standard text and data rates apply. Visit whitesox.com for official rules. Daleks 1 for 2 had an RBI single in the first inning. He lined out. Soft line drive that Derek Barton made a nice catch on. Watch out, watch out. That's over into the photographer's well. That is a definite Matabatacola right there.
This bat just shatters. The barrel of it goes a long way. Much longer than the baseball.
So here's Paulie. Paulie is single. Then he doubled to start off that 3-run fourth. Doubled off the right center field fence. A little bit of a gap in left center as he takes strike 1. Count evens at 1. Making plans to be with us tomorrow night. Johnny Danks on the bump against Dallas Braden. Couple of left-handers. The ball hit hard. Pennington. So he will tie the record, and we'll go to the 6th, leading by 3. Gross and Davis to face Lucas Harrell in his major league debut.
Looks like Freets warming up in the bullpen, and for the ball club and for Lucas Harrell. He's not going to be allowed to lose this one. We want him to leave this with a positive attitude. And this is the bottom part of the order. If he gets in any trouble, it's going to be Eric Frietz.
Ellis has walked, singled, and scored. Ate him up. You can see, sitting at home, watching the movement on the fastball of Lucas Harrell. He's got some good. It'd be awesome if he could just get a little tilt down on it. It's flat a little bit, but it still moves well.
Well, that one moved right in on the hands of Ellis. A good pitch because it was 4 inches inside where he couldn't do anything with it.
2-2. Another one in on the fist. Ate him up. And that's out number 1. And a reminder, tomorrow, 6:05, fireworks. White Sox against these A's. You can get your fedora and bring some swing for Rat Pack Night. Afterwards, enjoy post-game fireworks presented by the great folks at Pepsi. So for tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com.
Lucas Harrell got a golden opportunity, a start that he never thought he was going to get this early in the season, and you'd have to say he's made the most of it.
First pitch strike. Well, as we mentioned, he started off so bad. He didn't have a real good spring. Pitched the game in Las Vegas and fell behind in the count, constantly 2-0, 3-1. Goes to Charlotte, and that bandbox starts off bad. And all of a sudden, we follow him every start. You can just see him coming. And in his last 11 decisions, it was 8-3. That's a little pop-up. A little can of corn right there for a 1.
Well, Harrell was in trouble in the first inning. He gave up 2 hits and a walk. He was in trouble in the second inning when he walked the bases loaded. It's a lot of trouble in the fourth. But overall, throwing out the walks, putting 1 run up on the board, that's it. That's pretty impressive for his first start.
Well, I've watched him since he's been with us in spring training. The thing I like about him, he got some stones.
Well, he made big pitches tonight when he absolutely had to. And I know that we talked about walking his way into trouble in the second inning, but he gave up a couple of base hits in the first through a double play ground ball that he had to throw to Barton. And he's done just about everything you would expect, maybe a little bit more, as we're here in the 6th with a 3-run lead.
2-0 the count to Rajay Davis, who twice has gone out to Beckham. There's a strike. Says the man with the best arm of all the umpires, Jim Wolf. And that's popped up. Beckham's going to get him again. This time in the air. And a nice 1-2-3 inning. That's 5 in a row retired by Lucas. Then he leads it 4-1.
Ask you, who was the last White Sox player to hit a home run in 5 straight games? And the answer, Carlos Lee, April 17th to April 23rd in 2003. Paulie hit one off the wall tonight, just missed, and will still have another opportunity to try to join the club.
Carlos Quentin will lead it off for us here in the bottom of the 6th. He'll be followed by A.J. and then the Tank, Dan Viciedo.
What a job that Lucas Harrell did. He went 6, gave up just the 1 run. Officially still in the game, but the bullpen is up and going.
That ball hit hard. A humpback line drive. Dadgummit.
There's a very happy young man. Talking with Mark Burley. Everybody came over to congratulate him from A.J. on down. Freddie Garcia came over. Ozzie took his hand. It was a start he never dreamed he was going to make at this point of the season in a pennant race. But here he is, part of the club and doing a real good job tonight.
So here's A.J. A.J. had a crucial RBI single back in the 4th, and then he scored. And there's another base hit. So Mike Spadali, Pete Canizone, Mike Maslin, the Bertucci boys, Bobby Bruno and Anthony, your nephew. 2 for 3.
Viciedo's had a big night. All he hit over Crisp's head was a rocket shot. Coco Crisp made a terrific play on it, stopping A.J. from scoring for the moment.
High. Get backing out of here.
It will.
Watch out. Don't let that one hit you in the head.
No.
Let's go in the top and come out the bottom.
Yeah, that would have been a tough one. Viciedo just airs it out. Fortunately, about 6-7 rows foul and in the seats.
Short lead by A.J. And a good take by Tank. Well, from what we've seen, I'll tell you what, there's not anybody in this league that can hit more vicious line drives than this young man.
Now, he's hit the ball awfully hard since that first day, that first at bat in Washington, where he drove the ball to the screen in right center field, something that's very difficult to do. And nothing's really changed.
He just got that God-given strength.
Well, a lively bat, and there's some guys who are as big as he is. Some guys who are bigger than he is don't have that lively a bat. But the ball just explodes when he hits it.
Got the great hands, the great wrists. There's another shot. Don't stop now, boys.
You get careless with a fastball to Viciedo, he's going to just crush it. 3 for 3 tonight. See where Suzuki wants it, but it doesn't wind up there. Kurt Suzuki wanted it inside. Instead, it was on the outer portion of the plate. And Viciedo just unloaded, so that's probably going to be it for Anderson. He's already made the motion to the bullpen. So we're going to see Ziegler coming in, and as he comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages.
957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win a VIP training camp festival experience on September 18th. That's camps. To 242-957 for 2 free tickets, VIP seating during the Blackhawks scrimmages, and a player meet and greet.
And the Lexus Pursuing Perfection call to the pen is Brad Ziegler, on for the 47th time, so he's been a busy man. You can see that left-handers crush him because of that sidearm submarine type motion. But he's being brought in to subdue the 2 right-handers with runners at first and second and a 3-run deficit.
And 1 out. And 1 ball. And ball 2. And the count 3-0. Beckham on deck. And that will load him up.
Not exactly what Bob Guerin had in mind when he went out to get Ziegler. He's now barring a double play ground ball, and he's going to have to face Pierre, and he doesn't get left-handers out.
So Gordon's 1 for 2, had a big 2-out RBI single. That was in the 4th inning, picking up our 3rd run. Sacks packed with stops. There's a strike. Don't stop now, boys. Come on, Gordon. Look at this. Stay fair. It won't, dadgummit.
That one just missed clearing the bases. This is Gordon bidding for a double down the line.
Good 2-strike hitter right here.
This one just slicing foul at the last moment.
Cinch it up, hunker down right here, Gordon. Sweeper, and the count 1-2. Look at this. Is that sweet? He just served it in there. So they're going to hold Tank. And a good thing they did. Meanwhile, A.J. scores. That's a Hazel May right there. That's a beautiful piece of hitting.
RBI number 33 as Gordon Beckham gets a sinker down, shortens his swing, and just tries to put it in play. Good things happen when you make contact.
Don't stop now, boys, as here is one. He's 1 for 3. Infield single, stolen base, and a run scored. Infield in. They can get it up.
The 2 guys he was brought in to retire, he didn't. And so Ziegler and the A's in a critical at-bat for them.
Boy, that was just a beautiful at-bat right there by Beckham. And look at this. They're going to double him up. That's a hang with him for 1. Meanwhile, Beckham with that beautiful, beautiful at-bat. We'll go to the 7th inning, 5-1.
comes in with a 4-run lead. And Sergio's been throwing the ball a little bit better after a slight lull in his season. He's bounced back and looking strong. And defensively, Omar Vizquel checks in at third base.
The Tank. Tank 3 for 3 tonight with a run scored. Instrumental in setting up one and scoring another one. Young man, I'll tell you. He's going to be something. I mean, he's really going to be something.
He's something now. There's no doubt that he is not only a major league hitter, but he's going to be a major league run producer. And the only question then is, at which position?
Well, he's going to be an offensive star.
There's no doubt about it.
Cliff Pennington, switch hitting shortstop, has walked and had an infield single to knock in the only A's run. That pitch high and wide. 29,431.
They saw Lucas Harrell go 6 innings, a run on 4 hits, walk 5, fanned 1. And he settled down and did a terrific job.
And a count 2-0.
You only get one of these if you're very, very fortunate, and that's your first major league pitching performance or at bat, and Lucas will remember this one always.
And it's high. Come back and get him. No walk, Serge. That is not in the program. There's one. Make him hit his way on. Fouls it back, so a full count to Pennington.
And Tampa Bay, in a big series, beat the Yankees in the first of a 3-game series, putting them just 1 game in back of New York.
And that's blooped out into left field. He lost it momentarily, then recovers to make a nice catch. Attaboy, one.
I'm really surprised he was able to recover because he lost that ball completely. Looked like he was going to run under it easily, lost it in the lights, and then at the last instant he made a lunge for it and made the play. Not pretty, but effective.
So here's Chris. A good job by Serge to come back from that 3-0 count. Chris is 1 for 2. And Detroit beating Boston 4-1.
Well, Detroit is still in the acquisition stage. They're not taking anything for granted. They're going out there and trying to improve their ball club. They're right in the middle of a couple of negotiations that's going to take it right down to the trade deadline tomorrow afternoon.
That's a can of corn. 2 down. Boston coming into the night 7.5 games back of the Yankees.
All the Red Sox want to do is just stay afloat until they get a few of their injured players back. That'll be a tough thing to do in that division.
Yeah, it is. They got Derek Barton takes ball 1. He's 0 for 3. Yeah, if they had just one to climb over, one thing. When you got 2 teams that are better than you are, that's tough to do. Not that it can't be done, but it's tough to do. There's a strike.
Rodriguez throwing in the bullpen.
That young man can rush it up there.
Yeah, he was pretty impressive. I mean, velocity-wise, out in Oakland.
Well, he hit triple digits. This Derek Barton is impressive, too. He's just 24 years old. He looks like he's got a chance to be a real solid hitter. He is short and quick. Two and two. Johnny Danks tomorrow against Dallas Braden. So make your plans to be with us here. Fireworks presented by Pepsi. If you can't, that game will be right back here on Comcast SportsNet. And in the finale of this series on Sunday and this 7-game homestand, Gavin Floyd against Gio Gonzalez. If you can't make it to the game on Sunday, that game will be over WGN. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He gone. 1, 2, 3 inning, 7th inning stretch. Sox lead it by 4.
Third base coach Jeff Cox brought out the lineup, and of course, when you're almost unbeatable at home, you can do a lot of things, like the cup hat on your third base coach. Kotsay certainly enjoying that, as is the rest of the dugout. And for Jeff Cox, he had no idea it was there.
Well, he's the only guy that looks good on.
Well, that's because of the shape of his head.
He's covering that knot up.
Henry Rodriguez comes out for the 8th time. He's got a big fastball, although he walks a few folks.
That's back to the middle and into center field. Alexei gets on the board. He's 1 for 4. More importantly, the leadoff man aboard.
Oh, and that's a huge hit. Yep.
Here's Alex, 1 for 3. That first inning RBI single, knocking in Juan Pierre, who was singled and stolen second. That 97-mile-an-hour fastball, as we mentioned, he touched 100 a couple of times out there in Oakland. Just a young guy. Good job by Suzuki.
Well, that ball almost went to the screen. They put Ramirez at second base. Instead, Kurt Suzuki, very athletic behind the plate, moves exceptionally well, was able to snag it.
Rodriguez, just 23 years old. There goes Alexei. And the ball into center field. Alexei will amble on into third. So the stolen base and the error. Number 6 for Suzuki.
He wasn't going to throw out Alexei here anyway. But it's not a good throw. Gets away from Ellis. And now the infield has to come in at all 4 positions, which makes it a whole lot easier to hit for Alex Rios.
Especially when you get a 2-1 count.
Yep.
Made a good pitch on him.
That was a fastball that had some cutter action on it, but at 98, that's not going to be his cutter. Actually starting to run the bases a whole lot better as the rest of his game starts to pick up across the board.
He's playing some ball. And that's chopped foul. Five, 12 and 0 for our guys. 1-4-1 for their guys. And the count goes full. Pennington halfway at short. He'll come in a little bit as he gets him. So that's out number 1.
The boys in the infield are not going to move back any.
So here's Paulie and a reminder, Saturday, August 14th, 6:05, Sox against the Tigers. First 20,000 adults aged 21 and over will receive a beer vendor bobblehead presented by Miller Lite. So for tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. Right here, Paulie. Paulie's 2 for 3 tonight. A single, a double, and a run scored. Takes it right there. That one at 101.
If he gets it middle in, it's not going to matter. The ball's going to turn it around anyway.
Breaking ball. And Paulie talking to Jim Wolf, saying that ball went around the plate. And it did. The ball never came back to catch the plate.
Now Suzuki tries to drag it back over the inside corner, but that ball started out a ball and stayed a ball all the way.
Yeah, that's in that situation, 0-1 count to make it 0-2 is not good. Checks it up. He did not go. And the count 1-2.
Well, we just have to hope that he gets a little careless with the fastball here, thinking that nobody's going to be able to turn around his heat.
Or maybe hang on to it, a little wild pitch. Paulie trying to put that short swing on him.
Outfield deep all the way around. And if Paul does hit it to him, Alexei can walk home where they're positioned.
And once again the 1-2. That's top foul, that one. Coming down and in.
That went right off Paul's foot, I believe.
Carlos Quentin on deck. Don't leave it up to him. Do it yourself right here, Paulie. He will. Stretch. Back on the track is Davis. So Alexei will tag. He will score, and it's a 6-1 and a nice at bat right there by Konerko.
Oh, is battling a guy with really good stuff. This is a slider. Ball catches enough of it. The home run streak probably went by the boards with that swing, but he got home the 6th run.
See that swing? See, what's the finish? Didn't try to do too much. Keep those hands in front of you. That fastball.
Pretty good.
That looked like the quickest one of the evening right there. And he had one at 101 to Paulie. Chops it foul. And another one at 101. But unless it's moving, if it's just straight, major league hitters don't care how hard you throw. Especially if you can't get anything else over. Another one at 101.
Rodriguez was a starting pitcher until last year, where they used him exclusively out of the bullpen.
There's a shot. Stay fair. It will. Thank you very much. One of those rolling breaking balls right there, just hammered by Carlos. Picks up his 18th two-bagger. Don't stop now, boys.
Tried to throw a curveball, tried to throw it low and away, instead got it low and in. And Carlos was able to hit it hard. And now he's going to depart for a pinch runner, so his night is done. Brett Lillibridge comes in to pinch run for him.
And here's AJ. AJ has had a big night. RBI single in the 4th. A single and a run scored in the 6th. That one at 100. Let up a little bit just to get it over.
Yeah, took a lot off that one. That was his changeup.
There's a two-hopper at 101, and that'll retire the side for the Sox. Pick up another one. Sacrifice fly on another good at bat by Paul Konerko. We'll go to the 8th leading 6-1. I can't wait till he and Sarah Kustok do that winter series on mind and body.
Well, he's going to lose again. And Eric Threets comes on for the 9th time. He has no earned run average.
I think lose is putting it mild. Suzuki, Cust, and Kuzmanov. Suzuki 1 for 2 with the base on balls. First pitch strike. The big 6'5" southpaw. Outfield around to the right for the 26-year-old receiver for Oakland. And there's a high breaking ball he just hammers. So the leadoff man aboard.
That's 2 for 3 for Suzuki tonight. Tony Pena throwing in the pit.
And a reminder, you can visit the official online shop of the Sox. You can browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source. Shop at WhiteSox.com. Here's Cust, a walk, a strikeout, and even to a 1-4-6 fielder's choice. Takes first pitch strike. And there's another shot hammered. Andrew had to take it on the first hop, so the first 2 men aboard. Not good.
Here comes Ozzie. And he's going to go to the bullpen. That's going to be it for Eric Threets. One of the toughest outings he's had as Tony Pena comes in. We'll step out and be back after these messages. In Detroit, we play 4-all, and then it's on to Baltimore for another 4-game series. It's a Felco upcoming schedule, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection call to the pen is Tony Pena, only on for the 35th time, a 3-1 record. ERA a tick under 5. He inherits runners at first and second, nobody out.
Pretty good hitter walking up to that dish. Kevin Kuzmanov, who's 0 for 3 tonight. 3 times he went out to Alexei. Can we make it a 4th? Got to stop the bleeding right here. And 4 times. Rack him up. 2 down.
Taylor made 2. Let's see, right there on one knee. Perfect feed to Beckham. No chance at all for Jack Cuss to break it up. And now there's a man at third, but 2 outs. It's 15 double plays grounded into by Kuzminov.
So here's Ellis. He's 1 for 2. A single and a run scored. Go along with a walk and a ground out to third. And he throws 2 pitches, gets 3 outs. Yes! Nice job by Tony Pena. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, still leading 6-1. Paul Konerko got some of the best hands in the business. Watch this little short, quick stroke right there. Finishes with his hands in front of him. And that was on the sacrifice fly. Didn't try to do too much. Just get the job done. And get the job done he did. All-State good hands play.
And we've got a new pitcher. It's Cedric Bowers. On for the 14th time. The ERA just under 5. Left-handers hit him, right-handers don't.
So he's got Omar, Andrew Jones, and Beckham, lower third of our order. Viciedo was 3 for 3 tonight. Hard bouncer back through the middle in the second for a single, then a rocket double over the head of Coco Crisp. Then he came around to score in the 4th, then another bullet into left field for a base hit. Tank did some mashing tonight. 287 Omar's hitting, takes first pitch strike.
He was inserted defensively at third base, getting his first at bat.
Omar was 3 for 4 last night in that finale against Seattle. That pitch up high with a couple of RBIs. Omar now with 2,755 hits.
That's a strong career when you factor in a few Gold Gloves here and there.
And that's a little looper. Get down. Get down. Get down. Nice catch by Crisp.
A good hustle by Darryl Cousins, because he went right out there to get a close look and see if Crisp trapped it. He didn't. Good effort by Crisp. Takes a base hit away from Omar.
Well, you watch him angle off just a hair If you have the time, which you saw he did, to angle off just a hair, boy, it makes it so much easier than having to come straight in, straight out with that arm.
You see Cousins in that shot, going out there to get a real good look at it.
So here's Andrew. 0 for 2, but he had a big RBI back in the fourth. Outside. That 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And it counts 3-0. There's one. Stops the foul. And a reminder, the first 25,000 fans at each home game will receive a BP game card. You can enter the sweepstakes on the back of the card to win an autographed White Sox bat and a $500 BP gift card. Will help your car run younger, for longer. Try BP gasoline with Invigorate. Pay up. And that's ball 4. And here is Beckham. He's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. His average up to 248. Outfield around to the right.
Cedric came very close to balking that time.
A little high and wide right there. Blueprint and the count 2-0.
Outfield shading Gordon around toward right center field. And Davis way off the line and left.
There's a strike. Gordon didn't particularly care for that one. Meanwhile, 2-1. All right, get yourself together. Back into focus. 2-2 the count. Bowers out of Chiefland, Florida. Breaking ball, no. Full count. Cedric, 32 years old, 6'2", 220 pounds. And the payoff pitch. That's fouled away as Andrew took off. If you're just tuning in, Sox with 1 in the first. They tied it 1 in the fourth. We came right back with a 3 spot in the bottom of the fourth. Added 1 in the sixth and the seventh. So Lucas Harrell in his major league debut goes 6 innings, giving up 1 run, 4 hits. He had 5 walks. Good job by A.J. nursing him through those first couple of innings. Then he settled down and pitched nicely.
But when reading his lips as he came out of the game, I think he was telling A.J. that he had a lot of adrenaline going for him tonight early.
High pop-up. Barton. 2 down. So that'll bring up Juan Pierre. Juan's 1 for 4. Got to start it off in fine fashion. Infield single, stolen base, and then scored on the base hit by Alex Rios. First pitch strike. 6-13-0 for us, 1-6-1 for them. Checks it up, fouls it back.
Edwin just trying to get out of the way and wound up fouling it back.
And a reminder, you can organize a group outing of 20 more guests, purchase a block of tickets, or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. The more tickets you order, the more money you save. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. Bertucci Boys domain out there. Good take. Close pitch. 1-2.
Andrews revving up the engines. Nice stop by Suzuki on that breaking ball low and away. Got his body out in front of it. Didn't try to catch it. Made sure that Jones couldn't go to second.
Well, overall, Kurt Suzuki, as far as being young, he's the best young catcher in this league.
He is that. That was a good swing.
White's got. I tell you, he's a fun guy to watch. Bro.
He's got the get off me ball swing.
He does, like he's fighting a snake on. 2 out into 2-2. Got him. We will go to the 9th with a 5-run lead.
With his new pitching coach, Don Cooper, has been very happy with the performance tonight. 3 outs separate him from his first Major League victory.
Lower third of their order. Tony Pena threw 2 pitches last inning, got 3 outs as Gabe Gross fouls it away, souvenir left side. Gross is 0 for 3 twice. He's gone out to one Pierre, and the other time Beckham got it. And once again, a reminder, tomorrow night, Johnny Danks against Dallas Braden. He had the perfect game, Braden's. Make your plans to be with us here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. If you can't, that game will be right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. In the finale on Sunday afternoon. Gavin Floyd against Gio Gonzalez. Make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark. If you can't, that game will be over WGN. That is high and that is deep. Stay in here. It will. Thank you very much, Andrew. Can of corn for him.
Looked like the wind brought that one back. So there's been a couple of long flies tonight that stayed in the park in that same general direction. One would have been a grand slam in the second inning.
Here's Rajay Davis. Gordon's taking care of him tonight. 2 on ground balls and 1 on a pop-up. Still a 5-3 Minnesota lead over Seattle. That game in the bottom of the 7th at Target Field. Come back, no walks. 3-0. There's one. And there's a base hit. Slammed into left field, so 1 out. And Davis aboard. That'll bring up the shortstop, Cliff Pennington. Switch hitter. He had walked, had an infield single to knock in their only run. And then he hit a little loop right in the left field that one lost it in the lights and then recovered to make the catch. A nice catch. They're not holding Davis on, so that will not be a stolen base. A 1-1 to count to Pennington.
Outfield straightaway not overly deep for Pennington.
And 2 balls in the strike. And that ball's chopped foul, so 2 balls, 2 strikes. Texas in the second inning out of the Big A in Anaheim, leading the Angels 5-0.
They made another deal to get Christian Guzman from the Nationals today. So Texas continues to make a lot of deals, make their club a whole lot stronger.
And that was because of
Kinsler going down on the disabled list.
Well, they got him in a hurry, didn't they?
Well, they did. And the interesting part of that, I will tell you after this bit. That same deal was proposed earlier in the season, and it was rejected at that point. But with Kinsler down, now that deal started to look a whole lot better to Texas, and they wound up pulling the trigger on it.
Well, for a club that sort of, so to speak, is in flux out there, they're wheeling and dealing.
They're just picking up a player a day.
Nolan Ryan getting the job done once again. 1 out, and once again the 2-2 pitch. He gone. 2 down.
This one just floated back over the plate. A.J., of course, thought it was high himself because he did ease it down into the zone. Framed it nicely, got the call from Jim Walsh.
Here's Coco Crisp as the 29,431. And there's fireworks tonight as well as tomorrow night. They come to their feet. Sox trying to pick up their 12th straight home victory and make it 19 out of the last 20.
That's about as hot as you can get.
Crisp is 1 for 3. And the count 0-2. Rick DePauli, and this ball game is over. So, the Sox, 12th consecutive home victory, 19 out of 20. Lucas Harrell comes in a spot start, his first major league start, his major league debut against the guy, Brett Anderson, making his first start since June 3rd, but arguably certainly one of the top two pitchers they have. And Lucas Harrell gets the win.
And he outpitched him. He went 6 innings, gave up a run on 4 hits with the 5 walks and a strikeout. But he got the game into the 7th, which is something that Sox pitchers have been doing with regularity, taking the pressure off the pen, making the matchups much easier for Ozzie.
And once the bullpen, Sergio went an inning, then Eric Threets came in, gave up a couple of hits, and then Tony Pena comes on and throws 2 pitches and gets 3 outs.
What a performance.
And let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is the 25-year-old right-hander out of Springfield, Missouri, Lucas Harrell, in his major league debut, picking up the victory. So the Sox, again, make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. Game 2 of this 3-game set, as they have won. They swept the Mariners. Take the first one here, and then Johnny Danks on the bump. Johnny Danks has been pitching some ball against Dallas Braden. That game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. And down on the field right now is our guest, our GMC player of the game, making his major league debut today and getting the victory, Lucas Harrell. Congratulations, big guy.
Thank you, Hawk.
Have you ever had that much of an adrenaline rush?
No, it was definitely an experience I've never experienced before in my life.
Well, when you went out there, it helps if you have a veteran catcher. And, of course, there's 2 of them on this team tonight. A.J., I thought, did a pretty good job. What was he telling you when he came out to try to settle you down?
Yeah, he just came out and said, trust your stuff, throw the ball over the plate, and make him early contact because that's the kind of pitcher I am. So just kind of settled me down a lot, and it was really good advice.
Well, it looked like in the first couple of innings, obviously you didn't have your release point, and then Don Cooper talked to you a little bit about maybe adjusting that.
Yeah, I had my feet a little too close together, so he told me, get your feet a little bit further apart. And
the customary ritual of the beer shower
and
for your first major league win.
Now that you can't see. Well, it certainly is worth it. And don't worry, all that electrical gear you're wearing, it's hardly ever electrocuted anybody.
Lucas, you started off real slow down in Charlotte, and all of a sudden, the last 11 starts and your last 11 decisions, I should say, you picked up 8 victories. You had it on a roll, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of started off slow. I wasn't really being myself, and then I kind of went back to some things I did, changed a few pitches, and started getting back to stuff I did last year that really gave me a lot of success, and Dot worked with me on it, and we got back on a roll. Well,
congratulations once again, young man. This is a night that you will never forget.
Thank you. Hey, Mom and Dad.
Lucas Harrell, our GMC player of the game. And that'll do it from beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. So for my partner, the Stone Pony, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angio, our producer, Todd Benjaminson, our associate producer, Kat Lysick, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., and for the mayor, the man who runs this booth, Mean Joe Groove, also up here with us. We've got Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, and Jeff Gilbert. This is The Hawk. So long, everybody.